And then just before we move on to the first distinction there about voice, I just want to talk about what we're not. So stylists, I think there's a lot of mysticism about what we do, especially from television. And September issue helped because it was a documentary. It kind of showed a little bit more about what we do as magazine editors and as stylists. But I think people, sometimes I go into a new client and they think I'm entertainment. Like I'm supposed to be like a puppet show, like song and dance. And I'm like, no. I mean, I can do all that stuff if I want, right? And it's really fun. I was like, but we're not entertainment. We're serious, fashion business people who are going to help them make a lot more money. So I always kind of I'm like, no, I'm not entertainment. Also, people have a preconceived notion that we're super stuck up and like diva. That does not work. I know it's ridiculous, but people think that. And especially meeting with new clients, I was working with a sports company, and they were expecting me to be this like crazy creature that they see on television. I was like, no, I'm nice, and it's like I like meeting and talking to people and finding out about what they do, and and being super down to earth, because it's like if we're divas, no one's going to talk to us about their business. And they don't feel like, and it's really hard when you're being a diva to get the hair and makeup team to do what you want. And all that stuff is so important to creating the images. We're getting paid to create images for companies. If we can't work with our team and have them respect us and we respect them, it's like the diva thing just doesn't work. I mean, I've never seen it work. Have you ever seen it work? No. I mean, everybody I know at the top, they're like really down to earth. And they're really good at building relationships and taking care of people. And we already talked about this a little bit, but we're not just artists. We are CEOs of our own company, and the most successful stylists act that way. We don't act like, like we're like, oh yeah, I'm just an artist, I'm just here to put clothes on, it looks fabulous. It's like, no. I mean, that's all fun and good and stuff, and I love putting together the clothes. Like I can do that all day long, I do that all day long, but we're really CEOs and strategists. And then the other conversation we've hit on a little bit before is we're not wardrobe. That drives me crazy more than anything. And it's been the hardest thing about working in LA, because I was on a shoot with one of my celebrities. And the producer, we were doing an advertising campaign, he's like, wardrobe! And I was like, excuse me? And my celebrity turned bright red, and he's like, she's not wardrobe. She's my fashion consultant. And they were like, oh. But people have a preconceived notion that we're just wardrobe. And like I've been saying, and we're going to continue to repeat over and over again, we're so much more. I mean, yes, we have to have the wardrobe down. Like, if you haven't done one of the wardrobe classes, go and do it. You'll learn so much. You want to be able to learn how to make things fit beautifully. You want to learn how to, make sure there's no lint on things. Like this, make sure it's steamed. Make sure there's a tailor there to iron it. Whatever. You have to learn the wardrobe. I mean, that's the kind of easy stuff. Like, that's why I'm not going there here, because you guys can go and learn that. Pretty much anybody who has a fashion course will teach you guys that. So it's important to know it, but that's not just what we are. We're also not babysitters or hired friends. And some clients seem to think that I'm automatically their best friend because I'm there on a shoot with them, or like a babysitter to a client. Or especially with celebrities. Sometimes you run into it with celebrities where they think you're there to just babysit or be a friend, and it's like, no. And sometimes it happens too with designers on shows, because you're with someone for 20 hours a day. They think, oh yeah, you're you're my friend. Like, let's go to. I'm like, no. Like, this is business. So we are professional. Like, and the best stylists in the world, Grace Cunnington's not hanging around having coffee with all of her clients. I mean, with Anna every day. It's like they're not best friends, they work together, they're strategic partners. So I really think it's important. I mean, yes, a lot of my friends are in fashion, and I do have friends, and I love hanging out with them, and I love going to drinks. And this is how I learn a lot, even for this class, is talking to the other stylists that I'm very good friends with. But we're not hired friends, and we're not babysitters. And we're also not yes people. Like, the biggest mistakes I've seen stylists make over and over and over again is to just do whatever the client wants. And there's a fine, fine line between taking care of your client and just yesing them, because at the end of the day, they're going to end up with an image they don't like. If you just yes, they're going to end up with an image or a show or whatever it is. Because if you're just going to yes them, there's no point in being there. We're there to give our assessments about what we think they should do. And they can take them or they can't, but at least you've said them. And so you're clear. You know, there's integrity, they know what your voice is, they hired you because of your voice. Why give up your voice to just make them happy? And there are moments where I'm like, you win. You totally win. This is what I think, but you totally win, and I'll do that. And it's fine, and they know, and because I had that conversation with them, they're okay with it. So I think that's really important. And another thing that people kind of preconceived notion, and I think because of the fashion thing, is that we're flaky. Like, oh yeah, they're like really flaky, like heads in the clouds, and I'm like, no, no, no. You know, the most amazing people I worked with, Katie Grand, Maria Malit, incredible businesswomen. They are not flaky. They're like, they don't lose a receipt. You know, they don't lose a piece of clothing. They remember they know exactly where everything is. I mean, we are so detail oriented. You know, it's like crazy photographic memories. Like, we are not flaky. This isn't just, we're not just a whole bunch of like fashion airheads or whatever. And it's unbelievable to me sometimes how people think that we're like that. And I'm like, no, no. So I mean, I thought it was really important. I mean, does anybody have anything else about that or any questions? We're not, well, we're not hairstylists, that's the other one. Like, oh, you do hair. And I'm like, no, 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 fashion stylist, yeah, no, no. Yeah, so it's good to kind of get really, and I also like to in client meetings, sometimes I'll go over some of that stuff. Like, you know, just so you know, I'm not a yes person, and I'm not like a super flaky. It's good to be able to speak that to people and say, look, this is like, I'm really a serious business person, and I'm here, you know, to take care of these concerns for you. So, okay.